And hello, everyone. Here we are again. Come on in this room so that we can talk together about solar. Call everybody you know, send a text to whomever you know, anyone who is interested in learning about solar energy. That's what we're talking about here today. So get ready, get ready, get ready, and come on in the room. So here I am, third, my third podcast, and I'm excited about that. Woohoo! We're doing well at this. I thank you all for the comments and the questions, most of which I am getting off the air once everything is over. And I go back and I look at the comments. I see a lot of great, encouraging words. And then I also see your questions. So thank you very much for that. I am Robin Fahmy. I am local here in the Cedar Hill, Dallas, DeSoto, Lancaster area. I live in the area, and I'm here just to talk to you about solar energy. We're at a time where it's becoming more and more popular, and you may be getting more and more people knocking on your doors wanting to share with you about solar. So I'm here to run a little bit of interference to make sure that you are educated and that you really understand what you're talking about. So, before we go any further, again, I am Robin Fahmy. My company is Better Me, Better You, Solar Energy Consulting and Sales Project Management, because we consult with you about solar. We can talk about it, but if and when you're ready to make that decision and you actually want to purchase, then I will manage that project for you to completion and make sure that you know everything that you need to know and that you have everything that you need to have to make sure that this is a profitable and valuable transaction for you. Now, while we are live on the air, you can call me if you have a question. If you want to talk directly to me, you can call me at 214 497 7440. I've got my phone right here on the set and I will answer, probably put you on speaker so that everyone else listening will be able to hear the questions and that we can interact together. That's what it's all about, learning together and becoming better together. If you want to visit my website, go to betterme-betteryou.com and you can read a little bit about my company. We are a woman owned company, and you can see I'm melanated, so that means we are a Black owned company. And we're all women. There's myself, my daughter, and Melissa, who is the office manager for us. So we're here to provide information, education, and excellent excellent customer service. When you call, you will get a real human being, probably me. So just know that you are in safe hands. Now, I want you to understand. I'm here to talk about solar energy. My main goal is to demystify the whole idea of solar energy. We're going to demystify that for you. We're going to take all of the mystery out of what is solar, how do I go solar, what does that mean, can I sell my house with solar panels on it, how do I relate to the insurance company. So there are a whole gamut of things. But the one thing in my mind is solar should not be complicated, but it is. And there are some people, some of us who are out here helping to make it simple for you to understand. but it really should not be complicated. And then on the other hand, there are a lot of moving pieces when it comes to solar. So you have to make sure that you know what you're doing when you sit at a table and actually sign a contract. Now, let's kind of recap and go over a few things that we've talked about. The first thing that I want to reiterate is that when you hear renewable energy, you hear that word thrown around, the whole concept of renewable energy. You have to know what that is. And so we made it clear the last time renewable energy is sun energy. And it is renewable because that's something that reoccurs over and over and over again. You don't have to do anything to make it happen. It's just the way creation is. The sun rises every morning and it sets every evening. So, with that said, during the day, when you have solar panels on your home, during the day, when the sun is out, you're producing energy. When you are producing energy during the day, if you're home, any energy that you are using, it is the energy that you are producing. So just remember, during the day, you are producing energy, and that's what you're using to run your household. In the evening, when the sun goes down, now you're pulling energy from the grid just like everybody else. So during the day, you're producing energy. At night, you're pulling from the grid. So it's important for you to understand that. And when you know that, and you are connected to an electric company, meaning you're going to get an electric bill from some company, when you see your usage will represent the kilowatt hours that you have actually pulled from the grid. So that's what you will be paying for. And then if you have excess energy that you didn't use, it's referred to as excess or overproduction. That overproduction goes back to the grid. You sell it back to the grid. And hopefully, you're in contract with an electric company where you are getting paid or the buyback for your overproduction is enough to cover your usage and all of the additional items on your bill. Remember last time we talked about the fact that energy is one thing, and taxes, base charges, TDU charges, delivery charges, that's something else. What solar does is provides energy for you. So that portion of your bill that is related to the energy usage, that's what solar really does for you. Is it kind of replaces that, or it allows you to split your day. Maybe 12 hours of the day, you've got the sun, you're producing energy, and that's what you're using. 12 hours of the day, the sun is not up, it's down. And so anything that you use during the nighttime hours, that's what you're pulling from the grid. And that's what you will pay for. That becomes your usage. So we have to be sure that we understand how to read your electric bill. So when you get that, you may be paying 15 cent per kilowatt or 12 cent per kilowatt, whatever it is. And that usually is what we are most interested in, is how much are we paying per kilowatt for energy, right? Okay. But then on the other hand, you still have your base charges, you still have your taxes, you still have the delivery charges. And here in Texas, we have a grid charge, an ERCOT. charge. So those things are not energy related per se. But if you have a system that has been sized properly to offset your energy usage, then the electric companies that are giving you a credit for your overproduction, you may have enough in credits to cover the entire bill. And that's what you want. Okay? That's exactly what you want, is to be able to cover the whole bill so that the bill comes in at zero. And if it doesn't come at zero, then it's more than likely going to be a minimal charge. It just depends on how much your base charge is, how much your delivery charges are. And usually, delivery charges and TD charges, depending on if you're Encore or not, they may all be the same across the board, but you have to know and understand that. So remember last week when I mentioned that it was time for me to renew my contract? And I have to say that I'm really excited because I was able to connect with an energy company that is paying me dollar for dollar buyback. So I pay, I think I want to say it's 10 cent per kilowatt for my usage, and then my overproduction, they are paying me back. They are buying it back at that same 10%. So now my overproduction is charged or is calculated using that same price per kilowatt, which is what you want. So remember when we first got started, the concept that I want you to understand is solar will work if you know how to work it. And that's what we're teaching you. Um, some people will decide that they want to go solar no matter what kind of home you have. That is something to consider as well. If you are in an older home, and when I say older home, you're in a neighborhood, your house is paid for, your house may be 50, 60 years old. You've got to consider this because it has to make sense. Okay? That's the objective. Make it all make sense. You're in a home that is an older home, 40, 50, 60 years. Maybe your parents lived there. Maybe it's the home you grew up in. And if it is, great, no problem. But is it really reasonable for you to add solar panels to that particular house? Now, you may be getting bills that are $150 a month. They could be $250 a month. We would have to take a look at that. But if you have high usage in a home that is that old, then maybe we may need to do an energy analysis before we even consider solar. What do I mean by an energy analysis? What I mean by that is we need to go through and take a look at your windows. How old are your windows? Are you losing energy through those windows? Are they drafty? What about your doors? Has that house settled to the point that now it's unlevel and you have cracks in the doors and you're losing energy? It's escaping. um, there are still yet a few other areas that we would need to look at. So maybe just winterizing your home or weatherizing your home would be enough to drop that bill down so that it's not 250 $300 a month, because a lot of times your energy is just being sucked out. We've got to do that first. I'm here because I love solar energy. As I told you all before, I am a product of the product. I have solar on my home. I've had it for 3 years. In 3 years, I have paid only four electric bills, and I have just switched to a new company. But guess what? It took me 2 months of research to figure out exactly which company I wanted to go with. So as I was, how do you say, interviewing, interviewing the electric company that I was currently with, I would call them. And when I learned of their new buyback program, it did not match what I had already currently. So I had them do the calculations based on my previous bill, and I could see what that was going to look like. And as I called several other companies, I had them do the same thing. So if I go with your program based on my usage and my overproduction from last month, what would it be? And that's how I finally narrowed it down to 3 companies, and then finally the one that I went with. Okay, y'all remember I had a coughing spell last week, so hold on. And so, now get this. This is how much they care about us. So, I made the switch, and then we get an email from the company that we switched from. The email said that they would give us 2 months free. So that was to entice us to come back. I said, well, okay, let's call and see what they're talking about. Because if they give me 2 months free, then they need to give me dollar for dollar buyback. Called them back, asked them about it. And then what they said to me is, well, this doesn't apply to solar. Well, you don't have your database divided into who's your solar customer and who's your regular customer. So you just send this to anybody thinking that we don't know the difference, but that's where we're going to get them. You guys are going to be smarter now. And it doesn't matter if you have solar or not. You don't have to be afraid to ask them questions because, first of all, and I'm not being petty here, but it takes a lot of work to understand that person who's on the other line talking to you. I mean, to tell you the truth, it took me a long time to really be able to understand because, they're not true English speakers. So, you've got the accents that you're dealing with and these sort of things. And it just takes a lot to understand it. But I call myself being smart and was going to hang up, call right back. And don't you know, I got the same person. And what I learned from that was he really did not know how to calculate the kilowatts per hour because I quizzed him on it. So the more you know, the better able you are to negotiate for yourself and to understand what it is that you need so that you can be sure that you're getting it. Um, if you all have any questions, call me up. Now, I had a question last week when I went home last Thursday and I was looking. There was a question. Is it free? So we've been talking about solar. We've been talking about how we need a copy of your electric bill, and we do an analysis to determine what type of system we need to build for you, how big that system needs to be. Excuse me. Does it need to be 10.5 kilowatts or 12 kilowatts? What does it need to be? That is based on the usage that you are currently using. We take a look at that and then we design a system based on your usage. The system that we designed for you should produce at least the energy that you are using now and a little bit more so that you don't have a lot to worry about. And we talked about the fact that if you're paying $150 for electricity, bills every month. You multiply that by 12. That tells you how much you're paying per year. And then when you go solar, you are more than likely going to finance it. Now, you can pay cash. A cash price is less than a finance price. But if you finance it, then whatever you're paying per month, if you were to multiply that by 20 years, let's just say you're financing for 20 years, then that would tell you basically how much your system is going to cost. Um, and from that standpoint, the answer is it free? It's not free. There is no out of pocket cost. You don't have to pay anything up front, but it's not free. The same way that your electricity is not free because you get a bill every month for the use of that utility. So it's not free. Now, I said that to segue into what I believe the question was, is it free? Was related to all these commercials that you see on TV, or if you're if you're online, if you're on Facebook, if you're on any kind of platform, they run commercials. And those commercials will come up and it'll talk about solar. Have you thought about going solar? And the federal government is giving you this, and it's free. Don't do anything until you talk to us. So let me tell you from my experience, I have not found any situations that are free. I spent 2 weeks calling all of those companies that popped up on my feeds with their phone numbers. I would call them and set an appointment to talk to them. When they call me back, I would go through a series of questions, and all of the questions had to do with everything that they were saying in the commercial about it being free. So it's not free. What those commercials are designed to do is to generate leads for them. They want you to call them. And when you call them, then they will steer you into an appointment. And if you agree to sit with someone and talk about solar, then they're going to tell you about their company and what their company has to offer as it relates to solar. You won't have to pay any money out of pocket. So if you don't have to come off of any money up front, then that's the free aspect. It's psychology. It's a psychological game. It's a mind game, and I'm here to bust it up. And that's just the truth. I am here to break into or interrupt that psychology. That's it. I'm here to interrupt that because a lot of people do get caught because they believe it's free. It's not free. So let me talk about across the board. Most often, unless you want to put some money down, you don't have to. You do have to have a credit score that is at least 650. Okay, that's the first thing. If you've got a credit score of 650, more than likely you're going to meet the criteria of the finance company. So we've gotten you there. No money up front. Then, haven't you heard them tell you that the government is giving you a tax credit? Okay. So everybody wants something. So a tax credit is something that you believe is going to be good for you. But you have to have an understanding of vocabulary. What is a credit? When you're doing your banking, you have a debit card and you have a credit card. Okay. If you have a debit card, when you go and use your debit card, that money is coming out of your account right now. If you don't have it in there, then you can't have what it is you want. If you have a credit card, then they'll go ahead and give you what it is that you want to purchase. You can walk away with it. But 30 days later, what do you have to do? Make a payment. Same here. Now, when you hear people talk about this tax credit, and right now I think it's a 30% tax credit. What that means is that yes, the government is giving a right now a 30% tax credit for the purchase of your system. So if you purchase a system, and let's just say it is $30,000, you are going to have a credit 30% of 30,000. Let me get my calculator and see what that is. I'm not the math person, so if somebody wants to calculate that and call me, feel free. So 30,000 times 30% looks like about a $9,000 credit. So if you've got a $9,000 credit coming, that is going to occur when you file your taxes. Remember, it says tax credit. So at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, if you owe taxes, okay, if you owe taxes, you have a $9,000 credit that will pay that you can use to pay down your tax liability. You owe, and now this credit will help you pay what you owe. But you are not going to get money back in your hand. Some people do get money back in their hand, but the way they get it back is they're a W 2 worker, they pay income taxes are taken out of their check every week or however often they get paid. And so you've already paid in. And if you've paid in enough at the end of the year, what you've paid in will offset what you owe, and you'll come out pretty even, or if you do owe something, it's not very much. So now if you've got a $9,000 credit out there, it will take care of whatever you owe. And in this case, if you've paid in a substantial amount, then they're obligated to give that back to you. But in most cases, that's not how it works. If you are a senior, you're retired, you get a fixed income pretty much. You don't have a lot of itemized things to write off. So for you, that tax credit is not going to mean a whole lot. Just like in my case, my husband is retired. We have a fixed income pretty much. I work when I want to, when I want to. But overall, we we work hard at making sure that we don't owe anything. We do things that will protect us, and we don't owe anything. So when we got our system, we had an $18,000 credit. Okay, but we couldn't use it because we didn't owe anything. So unless you owe something, that credit is not going to help you. The only thing with the credit is it will roll over. It will be good. Some people say 5 years, some people say 10. I have heard 20. That's when you need to get with your tax preparer, accountant, and really get clear on that. But for us, it's been 3 years now, and we still have not been able to use it because we have not owed taxes. So, what's really free? Well, it's a free credit sitting there waiting for you to use it if and when, you ever owe enough to use it. Some people do take advantage of it. They're able to because, they make a lot of money, so they owe a lot of money in some cases. If that's the case, then yes, it works. But is it free? No. If someone comes and knocks on your door and they talk about how much are you paying in electricity, do you want to save on that electricity? And the government is going to give you a 30% tax credit on the system. Let's get you signed up. Call me. Call me and ask some questions and get clear about it. My number is 214-497-7440. So now, on another note, the problem really is for most of us the high electric bill. That's the problem. The electric bill is high for most of us. Um, and we really are just tired of paying such a high electric bill. Now, the solution is to fix your energy cost. The way that you fix it is you can switch to solar. If you switch to solar, we are going to design a system for you that will produce and match the energy that you're using right now. So you're not going to lose. And the best scenario is that the payment that you're going to make every month on your panels to the finance company should be very close to very close to um, what you're paying for electricity now. So, or not a whole lot more. This is how we're fixing it because if it's fixed every month, you know what it's going to be. You know that you're going to pay $300 to your panel payment to the finance company, and you may have to pay 12, 15. Let's just say, even if you have to pay $50 to your electricity company for those items that are not energy usage for the base cost, the transfer fees, and all that. So if that's the case, then you know every month how much you're paying to electricity. And that's what we mean when we say we can fix that energy cost for you. But now listen to this. Say you were to add a solar panel system to your house today. Now, you're going to do it now. All good. We got you set up. Now, next year, the price per kilowatt goes up. So if you're paying 10 cent now and next year it would be 15 cent, okay? You're not going to have to pay 15 cent for your total usage because most of your usage is going to occur during the daytime when you are producing energy. And then when you pull from the grid at night, okay, depends on the contract that you have with the energy company that you have, how much you're paying per kilowatt. But the bulk of your energy cost will be fixed. You will know without a doubt that, you know, your bill is going to come in at $50, $20, or zero. And then all you're paying is your finance payment for the panels. So that's how it works out. That's how we fix it. Now, I hear some people say, "Well, I want solar. My neighbor got solar. I was talking to my neighbor about solar, and I have to pay more for my solar than she paid for hers." Well, maybe she's not using as much energy as you're using. Every solar panel system is a custom design. It's a custom design. No two are alike. So you can't compare what you pay for your system to what your neighbor next door or three neighborhoods away. You just cannot compare it because it's customized for you and your usage. Remember, I told you that there are four adults who live in my house, and what we use is probably far different from a family, a husband and a wife that comes in with a young family. Maybe they've got 4 or 5 kids and there's always something going on. So maybe their usage is more and which means that, they're going to pay more. Okay. So you have to remember that. Now, think about this too. If you are looking to buy a new home, or not a new build, but you're moving and you're looking for a home, and you find a home that you really like. You like the design, you like everything about it, but it has solar panels on it. And you want to question, do I really, really want solar panels? Well, that's a really good question to have. Before you sign a contract for a home that has solar already on it, you need to see the bills that that seller has been paying. You want to get an idea of what those solar panels are producing. How much energy are those panels producing? Then you want to go back and you want to look at your energy bills from where you're coming from. So you can look at what you and your family have been doing, how much energy you've been using. So if that home that you love, those panels are not, if they are not producing enough energy in comparison to your previous bills, then you want to you want to know that, because if you go into it knowing it, you will have some offset because you do have the panels, but you may still end up paying a little bit more than if you had a system that was designed specifically for your usage. All right, now I know y'all like me out there. I'm looking at this situation over here. I don't see nobody calling me. I don't see not one name. I know somebody's listening, so if you have questions, call me. Let's see, what else can we talk about? So let's go back to what I said before. The main objective is to educate you, okay, and make you smarter. You become better, I become better. We're all better because you know more now. But I think solar is a really good thing. You just have to be able to do the math to make it make sense. So it will work. Believe me, solar will work if you work it. And you have to know how to work it. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you understand all of the moving parts related to going solar. Let's see here. So, one other thing that you want to be aware of is if you're in a situation where you're using electric heaters, it's wintertime, it's cold, and maybe you are using electric heaters in addition to your central heat. Just know that electric heaters will pull quite a few kilowatts. It'll pull more, and those can cause your bill to raise more, to be more, cause you to use more kilowatts per hour. And now you're going to get a bill that's going to be 40 to $50 more than you are used to paying. And so now you got to go back and backtrack. What did I do different? What did I do different that my bill is so different this month than it was last month? So it's things like that that you have to consider. Now, also, I'm gonna move away from solar for just a moment because I need for you all in this area, Dallas, Fort Worth, surrounding areas. I also do roofing and general contracting. So, if any of you have had hail damage recently, or if you need a roof inspection, call me. I, I'm here for you. 214-497-7440. That's the number. Also, be careful. When these storms hit, you will have people galore calling you and knocking on your doors because they want to come out and do free roof inspections. And then they want to convert you from an inspection to an actual customer. Now they're actually putting the roof on. But be careful because a lot of times we don't really know what's going on the rooftop. The reason I say that is as a roofer, as a person who, um, looks at what happens when we tear the roof off, we tear it all the way off down to the deck. Okay. And we can see lots of things. So if you have two, three tabs of shingles on there, that means that the last time you got a roof, they didn't tear anything off. They just laid shingle over the shingle that was already there. That's not what you paid for. You paid for a new roof. So if they put new shingles on top of the old shingles that was there, then you don't have a new roof. You just simply have new shingles. Then when we start to tear it off, the felt paper that's under there, the ice and water shield. Sometimes you will find, I just did a roof 2 weeks ago, and there were layers, four layers of the felt, the ice and shield paper on there. And there's no way that we would continue to do that job without notifying the insurance company that, hey, we've got four layers of felt up here already. So now, in order to do the best job possible, we've got to tear it all off. That means that the insurance company now has to supplement your claim. They have to add additional cost for us to tear it off because we don't work for free. That's not happening. We don't work for free. So now my job has been interrupted because I have to tear that off. And the reason I'm telling you this is, I have nothing against people who are hungry and they get out there and they work hard and they knock doors and they get sales and they make money. That is good. However, you know that there was a hailstorm. You believe that your roof may have damage. I come out there, I take a look, I confirm that yes, you do have hail damage and perhaps you have wind damage. Then we submit a claim to your insurance company. The insurance adjuster comes out to take a look to verify my findings. Now, the company that I am associated with, when that insurance adjuster comes out, we will always be on site to advocate for you because you don't, it's not your profession. You really are not expected to know, but you do trust the person who's doing the work for you, even though you don't really know that person. They're a roofer and you're trusting them. So I am always on site with that adjuster to make sure that we're on the same page and we get everything that we need. And so once that happens, we get the okay to install the new roof. We go to work. When we go to work, we are going to tear that roof off all the way down to the decking, all the way down to that wood covering that covers your attic. If you were to go up in your attic and look up, you would see the wood, and that's called the decking. And if we tear off down to the decking and we find problems, the decking could have holes in it. It could need partial repair, partial redecking, or the whole deck might need to be repaired. And that's what we're there for, is to then alert the insurance company so that they can supplement the claim again so that we can do that. When we leave you, you have a roof that you can be proud of. You have a roof that you can be assured is truly a new roof and everything has been done properly. So if you need roof inspections or any general contracting things, you can call me for that. But my main objective is to be out here educating homeowners with regards to solar energy. I really hope that those of you who are listening will go to my YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and you can search my name, Robin Bathme, and you will be able to re listen to any of these that we've done so far. This is number three. And please, I am asking you to like and subscribe so that we can continue bringing this information to our local area. There is enough opportunity in the local area that I'm not trying to take um, the work from all around. Although I will, but I'm saying that I am here to make a difference, to make a change, to make living better. So, and I can say that because if you get into a situation where you can fix your energy costs and you understand what you're doing and you can make a good decision, then it makes everything better. So go to my YouTube channel, Robin Fahmy, Fahmi is my last name. You can put that name in the search and it will bring them up. Please listen. Please like and subscribe and also share, okay? Send it to everybody because let me tell you, we've talked about this before. Solar is becoming very popular. Solar energy is something that is being programmed into our lives. So you can believe that solar will be coming to rooftops near you. And before I talked about, remember when cell phones first came out, none of us could afford them. But today, all of us have them. Some of us walk around with two. We walk around with one for personal and one for business. Our babies have cell phones. No problem with that. I'm just making a comparison. There was a time when not very many people could afford it, and now everybody has it. Same thing with computers. When computers were introduced into the school systems and our children became educated as to how to use computers to do their work, it became a tool for teachers. Then I remember there was a commercial. There was a television commercial, radio commercials back then. And the promise was no child will be left behind, and every home will have computers, will have a computer. But today, you can go into almost any home, and yes, every home practically has a computer, and some homes have three and four. If you've got four adults, all four of them will have a computer, will have desktops and laptops. So I'm just making you aware that solar energy is coming. Right now, it's a little bulky in figuring out how to make it work, but eventually it will be as common as a debit card. You can believe me, you can take that one to the bank. Okay. It's a good thing, I think, because it is good for the environment, um, and it's just the next stage. We went from farming and picking cotton to horse and buggies, and then from horse and buggies to the industrial age when the railroads came along, and then we went from that to cars, and now from cars to we have all sorts of transportation. One piece of transportation that is becoming more popular is the EV. That's the electric vehicle. Okay. So, a lot of people now are putting the electric stations in their homes that are run on solar. So it's coming. You all, want to be the first to drive EVs, then believe me, it would be to your advantage to have a solar panel system on your home where you can um, gas, I don't, it's not gas, but you can charge your electric vehicle every day at your own home. And if we were to build a system for someone who is considering an EV, then we can get the specs for that particular vehicle and be able to understand how to design the system that you need. So it's all possible. Everything is possible. And I will say here that for those of you who are feeling a little bit out of sorts, like life perhaps is not giving you what you want, you still have not found your passion, you don't know what you're really in love with, you're still chasing dreams. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Because if you give up now, you are probably just a kiss away from finding that thing. Because here I am, finally at a point in my life where the thing that loved me found me. I never, ever would have chosen solar energy. However, I was born at 12:35 in the afternoon. So that's a time when the sun is just starting to leave its peak in the sky. But somehow there was a message that was infiltrated into my DNA, which was programmed and said that I would be here now. And I am so happy and so grateful to be here to talk about solar energy and to help make a difference, make a change, make the world a better place because solar will make the whole world a better place. Because, you know, if we don't have these emissions out there, I mean, it's almost impossible to go outside nowadays and not have an allergy attack. And it's not because you're a sickly person, it's just because of all the smut in the air that your body really doesn't have the ability to filter anymore because there's just too much of it. So I went off a little bit because I want you to know, believe me, be encouraged. That thing that you love is looking for you. Just recognize it when it shows up. And don't be so hard on yourself. Have fun. When I tell you I have fun doing what I do, if it's not fun, I don't do it. I literally climb roofs at 65. I never imagined that I would be on a rooftop, but I do it. And solar, I love it. Love it, love it. Um, Maybe I'm almost talked out. My time may be coming to a close here just shortly. So I will say this is broadcast live on Facebook. So if you're watching, you'll see it there. Live on YouTube. Go there. My name in the search bar, you'll find it. Like and subscribe. You can also hear it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and what's the other one? Be Humble, Stay Humble on YouTube Network. So there are many ways to hear, like, and share. I just love being here, and today was a good day. This particular airing was good for me because I'm sitting up, you know, my back is straight, my understanding is clear. So please don't get caught up in a deal that is not right for you. Call me 214-497-7440. Go to my website, betterme-betteryou.com. If you need to send me an email, you can do that at robin at betterme-betteryou.com. And you can drop me a line from that spot. And I will see you all next Thursday. Hopefully, you'll give me a question or two so I'll have something different to talk about. But we'll get better and better as we go. Thank you.